Cold frames are an essential part of the gardener's toolkit. Use them to start off seedlings earlier in the spring, to carry on cropping vegetables well into winter, or to help harden off tender plants in early summer. They really are the gardener's best friend. If you don't fancy splashing out lots of money on buying one, don't, because in this video we'll show you how easy it is to make your own. A cold frame is simply a box frame with a clear lid on top. The frame is normally constructed from wood, but other materials such as blocks or bricks are also common. The clear lid lets in the sunlight, trapping warm air inside while protecting plants from inclement weather. Because of its uncomplicated structure, a wooden cold frame makes an excellent DIY project. Salvage windows will give you an instant lid, with the frame measured and cut to fit. Slope the lid towards the midday sun for maximum light and warmth. Position your cold frame directly onto the soil or on concrete or slabs. To make a cold frame, start with an old salvage window or windows, or a clear door, such as a shower door. If you can't get one, use a sheet of glass or twin-wall polycarbonate secured to a simple wooden frame. To fix the lid to the walls of the cold frame, you will need some strong hinges. To make demonstrating the construction process clear, we are using a cold frame kit. If you are using a salvage window for your cold frame, then the wood for the frame will need to be cut to fit. The box that the lid sits on is made up of lengths of pressure treated lumber, cut to match the dimensions of your lid or lids. Here we're using 3 boards at the front, then 4 at the back to give us our slope. 7 shorter boards make up the sides. The 7th length is cut diagonally to give you 2 triangular boards, 1 for each side to match the slope. The boards we're using are about 3/4 of an inch or 19mm thick. All of the boards will be screwed to 4 corner battens about an inch or 2 cm thick, which match the height of the front and back of the finished cold frame. You will also need 4 additional battens, 2 short and 2 long, which will enable you to either vent the cold frame or fully prop open the lids on sunny days. To put the frame together, you will also need some wood screws, a drill and a screwdriver. Begin by making the frame. Screw the side boards to the battens using 2 screws at both ends of each board. You will find it easier to drill pilot holes before screwing the boards into place. You will need to screw the narrow end of the top board down into the board below, like this. Now for the front and back boards. Screw the front boards into the battens, again using 2 screws at each end of each board. Then turn the frame around and screw the back boards into place. The completed cold frame is now ready for the lids. Carefully position the lids onto the frame so the lid and frame are flush at the back. Now screw on your hinges. Longer lids may need several hinges along their length. The only thing left to do now is to screw the lid support battens into place. If necessary, you can also screw some handles on the front ends of the lids. And there you have it. Your cold frame is ready to use. Cold frames can be used to overwinter tender perennials, to grow into salads, or to get a head start on the growing season. For example, strawberries grown in a cold frame will be ready to pick a whole 2 weeks ahead of those grown outside. Cold frames are also excellent for starting off tender crops such as squash, or use your frame as a halfway house between greenhouse and garden to toughen up plants before they're planted out. Our garden planner cleverly shows how growing conditions shift within a cold frame. Let's start by selecting a cold frame from the structures menu. We can then drop the cold frame over our crops and adjust it to the exact orientation and size of the cold frame. We can now see the effect this has had on the accompanying plant list. Comparing lettuces with and without the protection of a cold frame, we can see that the lettuce in the cold frame can be sown, planted and harvested a full half a month ahead of the lettuce outside, while the harvest period is extended by a similar length of time. Make a cold frame and you'll dramatically extend your growing season, which as a gardener is great news. If you've got a cold frame, tell us what you like to grow in it by dropping us a comment below. And for more practical projects and growing advice, don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you next time.